is Kitchen Counter Oracle dark and early at 2:09 in the morning, January the 2nd. We have a lot of interesting things going on around the United States at the moment. Many of them I personally consider the T word that ends with ism, but that's just me. But then again, I've been seeing stuff like this for a while. Right now, I've got members of a Coven on radar that primarily dabbled in love, money, and beauty magic, but because it was a little tee type thing, there's real time consequences when you are trying to bind and hex a person. This was about their looks and their money to make them look as undesirable for a marriage proposal as possible. And my thing is cause and effect. Actions have consequences. You get back what you put out at some point. And my favorite thing is when people start getting their comeuppance and they know you're the spiritual sort, everybody jumps to the conclusion that you're doing the craft on them. And it's like, no, I'm actually just trying to sleep like a normal human being. Again, I'm just trying to sleep like a normal human being this time of night, God forbid. And then there's the whole, well, you know about it, so you're part of it. It's like, bitch, some of us got to survive to tell the tale. You just mad that it's me telling the tale. Oh, I started getting sleepy with that one. Yeah, see, one thing I'm hearing right now too is that release me. The spiritualists and witches on TikTok use that audio as a joke because it's for people who think you're doing spell work on them. You're binding them, you're cursing them, you're hexing them, you're jinxing them and stuff like that. It's like, no, not the case for me. It's just a lot of people are getting their karma right now. Some of them are genuinely guilty of witchcraft. They really and truly are. There's anywhere from 1 to 3 Italian witches, some of them in California, that I know are getting some comeuppance, but at the same time, again, back to beauty, love, and glamour. Like my God. Beauty, love, money, magic. Somebody here knows the power of looks, especially for a woman. A lot of times your face card can get you in places your education and career experience cannot. But when someone who is organically beautiful in some way, shape, or form, whenever they do well in their own name and their own right, people immediately jump to conclusions, mostly out of jealousy and envy, that you did certain things to get the job. You did certain things to get ahead, and you did it honestly, you did it ethically, you did the interviews like everybody else, you showed up and clocked in like everybody else. You're just damn good at what you do. In other words, you are genuinely talented. No one faces criticism by those who are not as gifted, those who are not as talented, and so on down that line. They always lie waiting in fear of the next greatest thing to come along. 9 times out of 10, that fear is morbidly misplaced. Because if I hear the name Paige one more time, I'm going to lose my shit. Because there's only 2 Pages I know real time. One of them is the former sister-in-law of my sister. The other is an old acquaintance from my late mother's childhood, and I know both of those women well enough to know, even though one of them is of Italian descent, they ain't into that shit. Because one of them I know for a fact their daddy's a Mason. But at the same time, she values the lives of her children enough to not pick that up. These witches that I'm actually picking up on, they have kids. And they think that because you're able to pick up on how their shenanigans are going to affect their families, that you're threatening their family. And no. The Christian equivalent of that is sins of the father. And in some cases, the sins of the mother. These women have kids now. They did some heinous things when they were child free, but now they have kids in the mix. And some of the kids are the collateral for the damage they caused. And I'm not saying that as a threat, I'm just saying it as a cold hard fact. You wanted someone left out in the cold, bound, broken, busted, and disgusted so you could have something that was meant for another. There are consequences to that. Somebody has to pay the price. 9 times out of 10, it's going to be your child, grandchild, or great-grandchild. Insert the term of ancestral karma here. When you do something to someone that has not done anything to you, that's guaranteed backfire at some point. The ill words you speak, you eventually have to receive. Those ill intentions, regardless of the words coming out of your mouth, you got to receive that back in some capacity, in some way, shape, or form. And my thing about when a return to sender energy hits, whether the person did a return to sender, or it's just something that happened over time with cleansing and clearing, where that energy hits. If you are casting a spell on behalf of a friend, it's going to hit the caster in some way, shape, or form first. That caster is eventually going to put 2 and 2 together. And they're going to mollywop you accordingly, because in order for something, I've said it once, I'll say it again, in order for accusations to stick, the person being accused has to actually be guilty. If they're not guilty, it's not going to stick. So between these girls in California and the bimbos in downtown Birmingham, your comeuppance is not my problem. There are a lot of things in life that are not my problem. You fuck around, you're going to eventually find out. And you know what? A lot of y'all are finding out. And the thing is, I'm not doing anything to you. You think I am, but I'm not. I've been aware of what's going on for some folks for about up to 5 years now. If your skin was breaking out in sores, that was because of you pollution in the atmosphere combined with wearing a mask, yeah, that broke a lot of folks out. That wasn't a beauty spell done on you. That genuinely broke out the skin of a lot of people, including myself. Did it make me mad that I had to use acne treatments and stuff like that? Yeah, it did. But then again, I know what to do when my skin does stuff like that. So there's that. Another thing is, as you get older, your hormones change. Whoever is going into menopause, I'm gonna need you to get out of my energy on level of yesterday, because if I don't have to suffer, goodbye. Goodbye. You're like mid 40s. Almost, dare I say, almost 50. Is there something I can help you with? Because you're embarrassing yourself for your age. You are very embarrassing. And not everybody is naturally thin. So here's the deal. The thing you do in your 20s, you cannot do in your mid to late 30s and or onward. You can start going into perimenopause in your 30s, especially after 35. Now, you throw complications like PCOS, extremely high cortisol, and so on down that line, your body's having a whole heap of fun. Weight gain spelled not necessary. Your body is your enemy, and it's a matter of cracking the code. Hormones. Or this could be a hormone imbalance caused by spell work. You or somebody in your circle has to receive that. And again, back to the concept of return to sender energy, where that shit lands is where it lands. And it's not necessarily going to land on you. It can land on your husband, your wife, mother, father, brother, sister, your son, your daughter, niece, nephew. It can land anywhere. Your dog, your cat, car, business, bank account. I mean, again, where it lands is where it lands. And it's going to land on the things that you value the most, because you went above and beyond to learn a person's birth chart in the most illegal way, spiritually and physically illegal way possible. So you could learn their Achilles heel and exploit that Achilles heel. It doesn't make you a winner. It makes you a loser. That, my friend, makes you a loser. You lost the fight before it even started when you do stuff like that. Now I'm hearing that audio release me again. The thing is, I have not done anything to you. What it's sounding like is a guilty conscience, and hit dogs are hollering. And for somebody in particular, positivity only is toxic. Because in order to grow spiritually and in terms of wisdom, you have to do your shadow work. You also have to admit where and how you're the problem. And the thing is, you egotistically don't want to admit that you're the problem. The problem needs to start looking itself in the mirror and being dreadfully honest. Because part of becoming successful is self-accountability in all ways. I had to learn it, and so does everybody else. And as for the person with imbalanced hormones, you need to pay attention to your diet. Whoever you are, you're not getting enough protein and healthy fats. You're restricting your diet like you did in your 20s because you're afraid of gaining weight, especially after having kids. But the thing is, your body changes after bringing life into this world. I wouldn't know. I've been blocked from that at every turn possible in my life because of people not supposed to be in my life. Again, your body is changing. Like, even though I'm not having kids, my body is changing as it gets older, and I'm having to roll with those punches. Somebody who's had kids is going to have it a little more, I guess, harder because your hormones are different than mine now, and so on down that line. And on top of that, our genetics are different as well. No one has the same genes. But the thing is, in order to have a healthy, properly running body, you have to feed it. You have to nourish it. Healthy fats, proteins, you have to eat. To keep your hormones balanced, you have to eat. Getting in people's energy isn't going to help you, especially when you're being blocked from your feeding sources. See, the thing is, being a parasite is all fun and games until you start getting persona non grata status in the spirit. Part of that release me energy that I'm getting is people's guides and ancestors whooping your ass, giving you nightmares and all that jazz because you won't release being a burden in their descendants' lives. And again, I'll say it once, I'll say it again. If you were supposed to be there, you were supposed to be part of whatever the fuck it is they got going on. Things will organically fall into place. This domination come to me bullshit is equivalent to somebody whistling for their dog. I'm not flattered, bitch. I'm fucking offended. Real power stands on its own 2 feet by themselves. They don't need a group. Real power stands on its own 2 feet by themselves. It doesn't need a group. If it takes a group of you to come after one person and you still cannot get the results you want, put it down. That person is that protected. But the thing is, you're dedicated to trying to hack into that person's protection. Staying away from you is what protects them. And if people are forewarned in the spirit years before they ever cross paths with your person, chances are you're the problem. Chances are you're the karmic in the equation. Do you really think I'm going to go to bat for somebody that tries to pull these types of stunts? You really think I care that light bulbs are bursting around your house and pipes are trying to bust and whatnot? Do you really think I care? No. Welcome to home ownership. All that shit's out of your pocket. Oh, wait, when you did all that, you didn't own a house then. You rented apartments. Nothing wrong with that, but, welcome to finding out that it's not as easy as it looks. But like a typical karmic, you judged on appearances. If you try to whistle for me again, I swear on my mother's tomb and footstone, I will find a way to put a cattle prod to your behind in the spirit. Because I don't answer to you. You really think I'm going to go out of my way to answer the call of a pawn who's being controlled by the pawns of a larger chessboard? You really think I'm that stupid? And for the one of you that's begging me to do a recon and get you out of that mess, oh, hell no. No. Your blood was required to sign that contract, and you know what? I ain't doing shit. That sounds like a problem that's not mine. That sounds like a you problem and not a me problem. Oh, wait. You thought you had their protection, and now you see what's going on in the world, and it's just a matter of time before it comes to your doorstep. You're not a fighter. You should have thought about that. You might want to be worried about developing a plan for your family for what's coming down the pipeline, because not my household, not my problem, not my kin, not my problem. And I don't advise trying to find my doorstep, because I'm not helping you.